Welcome to The Prize Inside. A chiropractor's journey in everyday holistic health and vitality. Here, your host, Dr. Jeremy Myers, delves into the remarkable journeys of everyday people who have embraced the path to health and healing. Through his practice, Dr. Jeremy encounters inspiring stories of profound transformation and the power of true healing within each of us. Stay tuned as we discuss various holistic topics and unlock the healing potential that lies within us all. Oops, sorry guys. Mike was muted there. So welcome to Whole Health Weekly, episode 43. Tonight it'll be pretty fun. I might have a little whiny dog I might have to take care of in just a second, but I forgot to get her bone. It's crazy how the animals can tell exactly what time it is. It's wild. She knows exactly what time. And 9 o'clock's usually her thing, but it got darker, those kind of things. So tonight we go over health trends. So we go over the latest news in the stuff or in the news of mainstream media and social media and all those things, and see if they're good information or bad information, or is it stuff we can use in our everyday lives. So tonight I've reached out to my office manager, Gina. She's my TikTok expert. And so she has the topic of fulvic acid, which fulvic acid we'll discuss tonight. And tonight we always go over one cool chiropractic quote. And then we go into the news of the week and then see kind of what trends that we can understand and learn from so we can use them in the past. So there's tons of stuff in health, right? There's always some kind of this thing, but what can we utilize is what I like to go for. And I found Dr. Mercola's website, which I push a lot, has a ton. There's quite a few good articles this week that'll help us, get some better information. And the more information you have, the more you're allowed your innate intelligence of your body to run the show. And it will be fantastic. So with that said, let's start with our chiropractic quote of the week. Let's see what we got. I really like this one. Chiropractic is actually, well, it doesn't say actually, but chiropractic is not designed to make you instantly feel better. It is designed to make you instantly heal better. Whoa, that's pretty cool. So when you get in a chiropractic adjustment, many times one of the problems is we think that you need to heal, but you are going to feel better right off the table almost every time. And there's many that will tell you that that isn't the case, right? So a lot of times you might not feel, perfect right after the adjustment, for sure. Sometimes it happens, where you feel great. But for the most part, you got to allow that body. The chiropractic is just an energy force to make the joint work better, basically. So you're trying to get this joint to work properly. And once that joint starts working properly, the body can work properly, which allows the innate intelligence to heal. So that's your little chiropractic piece. Now let's go into our holistic stuff. Okay. So tonight I want to start with Gina's because I thought that was pretty good. The fulvic acid trend. So there's a big trend about this fulvic acid. What is it? And is it something we should be looking at? Okay. So I looked it up. Where's it at? Okay. All right. Fulvic acid is a natural compound derived by decomposed organic matter. It continues to gain attention in health, wellness, and agricultural sectors. While much of the discourse revolves around its potential benefits for nutrient absorption, detoxification, and anti inflammatory effects, recent developments focus on market expansion, product innovations, and emerging scientific insights. So let's look at what we're talking about. All right. So fulvic acid, let me look this up. All right, fine. Let's add, I'm asking a different question. What is fulvic acid? Because it sounds like dirt. That's what it sounded like. Okay. Okay, so this is what fulvic acid is. It's a naturally occurring water-soluble organic compound that belongs to the humic, not human, humic substance family. It forms during the microbial decomposition of ancient plant and animal matter in soil, compost, peat, and sedimentary deposits over thousands of years. Okay. That's interesting. Okay. So it's basically something with a ton of minerals. It's kind of eating dirt. So it's kind of a dirt. So it's probably hard to explain. But here is why, in my opinion, okay, so it's talking about the wellness, and then, a lot of people are taking it because it has some really good detox, sleep improvement, heavy metal detox, which is interesting. Users report better rest and then when you do this fulvic acid combined with zeolite, and it reduces cortisol and enhances mineral absorption. Brands like Touchstone Essentials promote it for gut balance, immune support, antioxidant defense, noting the science is catching up to the traditional uses. So that is interesting. Okay, so where it's been before. So just understand it's been in Ayurvedic medicine because there's products like Kapiva golden resin, which is rich in fulvic acid and minerals. And there's some Himalayan, a lot of different. Ayurvedic has got some really crazy word or names to things, but it's for daily vitality, immunity, and energy. Okay. So what I would suggest, here's another one. There's some older studies on fulvic acid that had some anti-inflammatory potential in chronic diseases like diabetes. It's it could be equivalent to steroid stuff in clinical trials, but they're not sure necessarily if it's totally there. Okay. All right. So that's about all we have on that, which tells me it's a new supplement. So it sounds like it's dirt, which is great. But here's a secret, guys. Here's a secret that I would like to tell you all. If you start working in the yard and gardening and all those kind of things in natural rich soil, that's another way to get a lot of these things. And a lot of these things, because what is the number one organ for absorption in your body? It's not your mouth, it's your skin. So a lot of times, did you know they did a study? I probably didn't tell you. The kids that play outside a lot have less sickness. Why? Because they are playing in the dirt. The dirt, especially in nice natural environments and all those things, has a ton of microbiome, a lot of microbes that we need to do. Our body starts to actually improve with that situation. So when you have a kid that plays outside, they actually are less and less sick than a kid that never really plays outside. The reason is their gut microbiome and their path or their entire process has more of this microbiome in it, right? So when you're exposed to a lot more microbiome type things, you're just going to be a general healthier person. Gardening is a great example. Why do people age well when they garden, especially organic gardening? Is because they're putting their hands in that dirt. And it's really, really important to do that. Fulvic acid is kind of a dirt compost, basically, that does have, you can, you eat it and all those kind of things. But so you can also do that with your natural soil. Now, I'm not going to say yay or nay to this supplement because I've seen zeolite work really well, especially for heavy metal detox situation. So zeolite's one of my favorites, honestly. In the heavy metal detox, I've tried it. I really, really like it. This Touchstone Essentials is a pretty good place. A little pricey. I think it's a little overkill because of what it's doing, and it's kind of rare. And I think fulvic acid is in that same boat. It's pretty dang pricey as far as it goes. So I would suggest, trying it or something, but just knowing that, it's an expensive one for supplementation. However, getting out in the dirt and playing in the yard, doing something that's dirty, getting in a garden, all of those things, not necessarily has all the fulvic acid potential, but you could see it happening, right? And then that's what's kind of neat about the the world that we're in, because we're starting to see some of these trends go, and that one could be a fantastic one for us. Okay, so just remember that as we go forward. Fulvic acid, look into it, maybe give it a shot, especially if you're looking for like a heavy metal detox, sleep, those kind of things. But there's not a ton of research out there to say like, oh man, this is the supplement, but could be worth your time. Okay, so let's go into the health trends of this week. All right, so let's look at what they said in the social media sphere. Oh no, this is mainstream media. So this is the mainstream media highlights. There a huge surge in complementary therapies. Okay, so there's an analysis that shows a significant rise in U.S. adults practicing yoga, meditation, acupuncture, chiropractic care from 2002 to 2022. Driven by better research, clinical guidelines, insurance coverage, use jumped, especially for pain relief, with yoga meditation leading the way, which is great. So and I think it's this trend. They're going to say, okay, insurance and all that stuff. But I think people are waking up. I think they're actually waking up to, if I can't run my body on chemicals, okay, so if I drink a pop, right, and it has all this fake sugar and it's fake, everything about it's fake, right? Taste is fake. All of it's some kind of artificial something. And we know how we feel based on that. Then why would we let our health be just run on chemicals that are what we call outside in, right? Medications, all of these things. It doesn't mean medications are bad, but why are we allowing our body to run based on the chemicals? Right. One of our biggest, and we have to start prioritizing, right? And I think we're doing a better job of that, actually. Self-care during a day needs to be a part of who you are. I was telling somebody, one of my favorite memories of when Allie was doing softball was there was a couple, and they're amazing couple, and they're grandma and grandpa. Okay. So they're grandma and grandpa. And this one family had like four kids, two little ones. And then the girl that was playing softball was pretty much a lot older, than the youngest, but she had to be at the softball thing. Well, one of the things that I always thought was so cool was that grandpa was up at like 7 a.m, got her to this softball, the field, had a coffee, have everything ready to go so that the mom and dad could get the other two kids to their soccer or lacrosse. I was so impressed with that. And in my head, it happens every day, right? It's the American way. It's kind of what we all aspire to. But I said to in my head, I was like, man, I want to be that grandpa. I want to be that guy that's able to really get out there and do this stuff. Do all this stuff. In fact, one of my patients today made me smile so hard. He's probably 70, 71. His fourth grade granddaughter did not have a basketball coach. So guess what he did? He became a basketball coach. You know how few grandpas are doing doing that? I think there should be this giant trend of grandpas and grandmas being the coaches of these teams. I know they say they can't do it, but dang it, it would get you exhausted, number one. Number two, it would keep you active and healthy. But the best part is when you get to experience, these kids get to experience you. Because all of us have those people in our lives that were mentors. And a lot of them you're going to say would be your grandma and grandpa, right? Because there's no pressure with grandma and grandpa. So you can say what you want. You can do those things. I need my grandma and grandpas to get out there in the world. We really need to. And one of the problems is we don't. We don't. And it's part of our society culturally. I don't like it. we grandma and grandpa may go to a game, but how involved are they? We grab them when the little ones are little. We'll babysit, do all those things. But what about really getting involved? What about coaching something? What about being a teacher's assistant? These are important things that you have to think about because these kids need those kind of mentors in their lives. And it's something to think about to keep you healthy as well, right? I mean, how many times there's so many things that you can teach these kids. They might drive you nuts a little bit, but that's the joy of it. So I digress on that one, but that was pretty good. So the biggest thing is self-care, understanding that using these complementary things, yoga, meditation, the things we talk about on 1% Tribe all the time are the things that if we start to do on a regular basis, each and every day, have a focus in there, watch how your health will go. It starts changing. Why do I call it 1%? Because if I improve my body and my health 1% every single day, by the end of the year, it's 360% improvement, but you have to do the work. There is no shortcuts. Okay. All right. So that's a good one. All right. Let's see. All right. That one's weird. Okay. Oh, here's a good one. All right. So this one I'm hoping takes off. I've been working on this for a long time. Hospitals embrace alternative modalities. Prestigious U.S. medical centers are increasingly incorporating unproven yet popular therapies. Oh, interesting. Unproven. That's a funny word. Yet popular therapies like energy healing, which, okay, maybe they don't have a lot of data behind it. Herbalism, there's tons of proof on that one. I don't know about the mysticism thing. I don't know. That's in there with mainstream care to address patient demand because the patients are demanding energy healing and herbalism. That's fascinating. And some of these U.S. medical centers are asking for it. So that's kind of interesting. I would say, in that trend, they still haven't figured out. So they're playing around. If they're asking, let's say, a renowned energy healer, acupuncture, all those things, don't give the medical center, the sick care model still thinks of what we are in the holistic as play toys. Okay. They don't think it's real. They don't think it's serious. That's been their problem for a really long time. In the sense of they've missed a lot. They've missed a lot of the boat on these things, and then they always come around later. So I don't mean to be harsh, but it's true. Medical has been, we should be a lot further along. Think about this. China has a hospital, and they actually right next to it has a Chinese medicine hospital, like literally built in the same building. Chinese medicine. Holistic Chinese medicine is literally in the same building as the hospital. And most people want to end up in the Chinese medicine one versus the hospital, right? The way we do things, we do the really crappy sick care stuff first. And then we hope that, you don't have to worry about the rest of it. And then we never get into things that are less invasive and all those kind of things. We're supposed to do least invasive to most invasive, right? That's not necessarily what happens, unfortunately. So with that said, it's not all ending, like where we have doctors that are really trying to, do less invasive type stuff. But one of the things that happens is we are, especially in America, we are completely far behind in a lot of these different things. I don't know what it is. I really believe if we could get, sick care stuff off of advertising on TV to people, I think that would help. I really do. I think that would be now that I understand that unfortunately I can't change, everybody's mind, and everybody gets kind of sucked into these. I don't know. There's a reason they call TV programming, right? Because it likes to program your brain. We've talked about that. So programming is literally happening on this TV screen. Advertising works because it works, right? People don't spend millions of dollars on, Super Bowl ads because they don't work. Maybe it doesn't work on you, but there's still about, I don't know, a few billion people that it could work on, right? So obviously it's working somewhere, right? And so with that said, that's why I'm doing this show, is to try to help us discern these different pieces, as we go. But remember, these hospitals, and I've seen it done where they say, oh, I'm going to hire a chiropractor into the hospital. We're like, oh, that's fantastic. And then they use them as like a little puppet. It's like, oh, you can only work on this person or this person. And the chiropractor gets sick of it. And they're like, no, I want to work on real cases and all these kind of things. So remember that they're not there yet in the holistic realm. Maybe one day they would be. I know. I want them to so bad because the integration would be amazing. But I digress. So anyway, so that one's pretty cool. All right, let's look at what's on social media stuff. All right. All right. Let's see if there's any good stuff. Biohacking. All right. I think we don't have, there's not much happening as far as anything new that we haven't covered. So, what I want to do is I don't want to waste the time looking at all the trends if there's nothing crazy on. Like GLP-1s, we've talked about, peptides, we've talked about quite a bit. So, if you're missing that stuff, make sure I'm going to put it in the comments. Remember to follow me. I'm almost to 70 subscribers, guys. On my Rumble channel. So make sure you subscribe to the Rumble channel if you have not. Here is the email list. It's Substack, tribe1.substack.com. We'll get you tribe1.substack.com. We'll get you on the mailing list. That mailing list is only to make sure you know I'm going live. Okay. And then one more is our YouTube channel. It'd be cool to get that growing now that I know they don't censor as bad, right? So the YouTube channel is another place you can follow, and then go back and then watch some of those. We've had meditation videos. We have all kinds of different videos for you. So remember those things as we go forward. So let's go into Dr. Mercola's articles because I'm really excited about those tonight. So I found one that we're going to talk about, and this one's done by Dr. Mercola. Okay, Mercola. So remember, Dr. Mercola's his website is phenomenal. You just get an email, articles upon articles about some of the really good holistic stuff. There's a few people out there, but that do this. I believe he's one of the best. And one of the reasons I believe he's one of the best is because he can discern, and he's still a medical doctor. So some things me and him disagree on, but there is so much that we don't, right? And so because he gets into these, it's very, very good. And so he scours everywhere to get this stuff. So this article is this. Egg yolk, there's an egg yolk compound shows promise in osteoporosis management. Egg yolk proteins influence bone health by reducing bone breakdown and encouraging new bone growth, offering natural support against osteoporosis. Research shows that certain egg yolk compounds shut down harmful switches in bone destroying cells, helping prevent fractures and bone fragility. The smallest protein fragments in eggs were found to be the most powerful, easily entering the cells to trigger bone building activity. One egg yolk compound not only protected bones, but also repaired fractures and improved strength in models of age-related bone loss and brittle bone disease. Choosing pasture-raised, low linoleic acid eggs and combining them with collagen-rich foods and key nutrients like vitamin D, magnesium, and vitamin K help build these strong bones and maintain independence as we age. So remember that eggs not only are an amazing protein source, but they actually help build bone. How many things can I tell you that helps with? There's not many. Even in my herbal and nutrition world, you hear about glucosamine and chondroitin, right? And I still think the verdict is out. I don't know if that actually helps as much as people think. Bone broth is another one that works really, really well, but a true bone broth. I don't think the powdered one actually gets it done for bone health and cartilage help. What if eggs do? It sounds like the actual compounds of these eggs within the proteins of them help bone repair and turn off things that break down bone. That's fantastic. So getting into egg eating, if you don't like them, there's ways to do it. There's one that's all right. I'll give you one. I do a raw egg shake. I do that. It's very fun. It's kind of gross. I don't my kids hate it when I do it because they're just disgusted. But if you can even do raw eggs, I'd say I do them. I don't recommend you do them. You do your own thing, right? So I never recommend anything I'm saying here. I'm just telling you something that I do. But the purity of the egg protein is worth the making it a very big part of your diet. And so one reason Rachel and I got chickens was because of the eggs. The farm fresh eggs, there's not much better. Especially if you have a friend that has a bunch of eggs. Buy your eggs from the farmer. They are ridiculously better. And we all know that. If you guys have been around long enough, you know a farm fresh egg is light. I don't understand the difference. Why in a grocery store they're not even close to a farm fresh egg. It blows my mind. Even the ones that say organic in the store are not near what a farm fresh egg is. So I don't know, something happens in the process or something. So, but anyway, so that's a pretty good article. Remember that. Eggs for osteoporosis, but understand that it's going to build bone. It's going to help you strengthen those bones. Okay, so that's a good one. Ooh, I like this one. Study reveals, this is by Dr. Mercola again. Study reveals this vegetable lowers your colon cancer risk by 17%. Just eating this vegetable. Colon cancer often develops silently without early symptoms, making prevention through diet and lifestyle one of the most effective ways to protect yourself. Eating cruciferous vegetables like broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, and Brussels sprouts lowers your risk of colon cancer by 17%. So I'm in here. I like to tell you the why. The strongest protection is reached with just 40 to 60 grams a day, about half a cup of cooked broccoli, making prevention simple and realistic. So a half a cup of cooked broccoli a day is not hard. Compounds in cruciferous vegetables detoxify harmful chemicals, trigger cancer or cell death, strengthen your colon lining, and support healthy gut microbes. Combining a rich diet of cruciferous vegetables with lifestyle steps such as reducing vegetable oils, environmental toxins, and eating the right carbs, and it will make you really, really good against colon cancer. That's awesome. So remember those: broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, Brussels sprouts. And if you're any good at fermented, I was going to bring you my jar. Dang it. So Rachel and I tore up a kraut that we made. We're starting to get good at this kraut thing, and what we've been doing is pretty much every meal we have some kraut, right? Some type. Now, remember, I have different flavored ones, right? So it's not just the kraut of the German kraut taste, right? So some people don't like that one. I have a lemon dill one. If you really want that, go to the fermentation school. I'm going to try to see if I can actually get them on, because phenomenal. Their whole website is amazing. So I want to promote them as much as I can. It's called the Fermentation School. Simple. You can buy a class for $30 or, $25, whatever, and you can learn how to do that. But that's where I got the lemon dill one. There was a Mexican one that we've been doing. It was fantastic. And then we did kimchi. Kimchi has been pretty good. Because Lexi, my youngest daughter, likes to do these ramen bowls, which are really, really good. And she does it fantastically. Now she won't make them because me and her Rachel keep trying to ask her to make them. And then she's like, Dad, it's too much work. So I always thought that was cool. So remember that: cauliflower, broccoli, all your cruciferous vegetables, 17% reduction in colon cancer. That's a pretty good study. And it's important. All right. Let's go to... Okay, let's go to... I like this one. So this is another good one that we're going to talk about tonight. Walking pace, not just time spent walking, but it's also tied to longevity benefits. Okay. Walking is one of the most accessible forms of exercise, requiring no special equipment, and supports your health whether you stroll around your neighborhood or simply walk to run errands. While many people track daily step counts or minutes of activity, new evidence suggests that the speed of your walk may play an even greater role in health outcomes. A large U.S. study reveals that a brisk walking, even as little as 15 minutes daily, reduced overall mortality risk by 20%. It delivered the strongest protection to cardiovascular health. Beyond longevity, walking supports nearly every system of your body, from improving blood sugar control to boosting mood, strengthen bones, and enhancing immune resilience. I like this. Other ways to maximize the benefits of walking include what they call, we'll talk about it in a minute, interval walking training, using a weighted vest, Nordic poles, or what I call hiking poles, right? Trek poles, having a walking buddy, or choosing outdoor routes for sunlight and stress relief. Okay, so let's talk about this for a minute. Walking always in general is good. When we do the same walk, right, and we don't challenge the body, remember that the body, every cell of the body is innately intelligent, okay? An innately intelligent body, if you do the same routine every time, it's going to, guaranteed, it's going to eventually figure out the pattern you're doing and use as little energy as it possibly can to perform this situation that we're doing. Does that make sense? Because that makes sense for the body. It wants to perform whatever it is with as little effort as it can because it doesn't want to expose that energy. Hopefully that makes sense. So by doing what they call interval walking, brisk walking, just 15 minutes out of the walk where you're actually going harder, you change it, you break the programming cycle. So I see this all the time. People that run a lot of distance, okay? So they're, let's say they're addicted to running, they run 6 miles a day. Some people, and you'll see it in their body style, some people, what will occur is that they don't get the results they want after 6 miles a day every single day, right? If they're going for an actual physical body change, that body change won't happen after a while. And the reason is patterning, programming. The innate intelligence of the body goes, okay, I know you're going to do this 6 mile a day. So I'm going to use as little energy as I can in that moment to do it. Now, if you shock the body, like surprise it, right? Then it has no choice but to respond, right? To respond in a different way using different energies. And that's one reason HIIT training, high intensity interval training, is one of the bigger things. It's a big trend out there because the results are so much better. Because let's say I go in and weightlift, let's say, and I weightlift and I do the same weightlifting over and over and over again, right? You start not getting the result. You have to change the movement and change the different patterns. And once you start doing that, then your body will actually make a change, right? And versus getting into this set program. I've seen a lady ran 3 miles a day for years and never moved a pound because her body understood what she was doing. We started doing sprints and she lost like 20 pounds. She wanted to lose this weight. I said, all right, here's the easy way. Do 10, 50-yard sprints and don't do your 3 miles. Hurts your brain talking about it. Some people don't like that at all. They're like, no, I want to do my 3 miles. Exactly. If your body's asking you to want, it wants to do it. You think your innate intelligence is really getting challenged there? Nah. Your innate intelligence is smart, very smart, instantly smart. So it knows how to outsmart you in your own workout. So what they're saying is, in a nice walk, you may not get the results you want until you add brisk walking, weighted walking. You can get these weighted vests, get a backpack, something like that. Don't wear it the whole time, but maybe, the first, 10, 15 minutes, you can do that. Trek poles are amazing. Rachel and I on our hiking trip out in Ohio, we went to that. And that was her first introduction to trek poles, and she loved them. When you're going uphill, you can actually hump a lot faster because you have four pieces, something on the ground. People think it's a weakness, which is crazy. They're not canes; they're trek poles. So they actually move you quicker through hikes. So if you're into hiking again, that's what you want to do. That's a fantastic one. Interval, but you can do brisk walk, slow way down, brisk walk, slow way down, right? Intervals, that kind of thing. Lots of different ways to do that. But remember how much walking, it improves mortality, which is another word of improves of not dying 20%. That's a nice number. So that's worth exploring if you're not a walker. I'm telling you. Okay. So I thought that was a good one. All right. Oh, I like this. This is the one I was looking for. Gosh darn. Okay. So this one's important for right now. Okay. How to get vitamin D in the fall and upcoming winter. Huge, very, very big deal. Okay. So now that daylight fades, right? As it's so I'll read the Dr. Mercola. It says, it's unfolding quietly behind your busy days and cozy nights. The invisible unraveling that begins the moment the daylight fades. Your body's signaling for help, but only if you know how to listen. And I can tell you, we're going to talk about that. Fall's shorter days and lower sun angle reduce ultraviolet UVB exposure, making it harder to produce adequate vitamin D through sunlight alone. Check daily UV index and consider your skin type. Okay. Ooh, that's interesting. We'll have to look at that. To determine sun exposure needs, the darker the skin tones require more time in the sunlight. Consume vitamin D rich foods like wild caught Alaskan salmon, rainbow trout, herring, fortified dairy products to supplement reduced sun exposure during fall and winter months. Take vitamin D3 supplements with healthy fats. Okay. So they're finding that vitamin D3 supplements, you want to take a really good one, but you also want to take it with some fats. Okay. So that will help your vitamin D. And you want to aim for 60 to 80 nanograms per milliliter in your blood. So get a blood test, especially in the fall. Get a vitamin D test. They're like $5. Include magnesium and vitamin K2 to optimize absorption and metabolism. So making sure you got vitamin D3, K2, and magnesium. Huge, critical. Okay. Reduce linoleic acid, which is your kind of like your seed oil stuff, processed foods and all those kinds. And all right, enabling. Because if you get rid of some of those seed oils, a lot of times your vitamin D will actually be enhanced as well. That was it. So just remember to start. This is the time to start supplementing your vitamin D. We start losing the sun at this point, and so we want to make sure that this is the time. We don't want to wait until you're sick to start doing that, because what could help you? What could understand? I hear it every day. It happened this week in our chiropractic office and everywhere else. It was a cold rain. So it kind of shoved everybody inside. In Michigan, if you're listening from around, Michigan has this gorgeous time, the fall. The fall is amazing. So a lot of times we're outside for a while still in the time that we can, because it's so beautiful. It's like, fall-y, you're wearing a sweatshirt, but you're outside and the sun's going, right? Until this week, but when it rains, man, it is like a cold rain. It like aches, every joint in your body aches, those kind of things. But what happens is everybody was inside a lot. Okay. So once they got inside, that's when you started hearing, man, this cold rain made me tired. Fatigue is a key factor. If you're finding yourself over fatigued, sometimes it's vitamin D3, K2, and magnesium supplementation may be the thing, or getting out in the sun, obviously more, right? I'm doing this middle school robotics stuff. I'm in a lab thing a lot until we get it all figured out and everything. Until that time frame, we have to, I'll have to do a lot of vitamin D3 supplements just to make sure that we're going in that right direction. Okay, so hopefully that helped. That was good. All right. I think I got time. Let's do one more. All right. Oh, I'm not. That one will. All right. Oh, this one's good. Okay. So let's look into biotin. This is a good nutritional supplement to take a look at. So biotin is more than just a beauty vitamin. So biotin, if you guys haven't heard, this is the one a lot of people take for hair restoration. Okay. So this biotin is that for a lot of the different things. So we hear it a lot when people are having trouble with like thinning hair, losing hair, those kind of things. So this is one's done by Dr. Mercola. Biotin is also known as vitamin B7. It's a water-soluble B vitamin that plays a vital role in converting food into energy and supporting overall metabolic function. Biotin is widely recognized for its role in supporting healthy hair, skin, and nails by helping the body produce keratin and other structural proteins. In addition to its beauty benefits, biotin supports nervous system health, blood sugar regulation, and cardiovascular wellness, contributing to overall health or overall vitality and well-being. During pregnancy, biotin needs increase and are essential for normal fetal development, making it adequate intake important for expectant mothers. Your body, here's a key part, okay? Your body does not store biotin. So a consistent intake through diet is very important. It is naturally present in foods such as eggs, beef liver, salmon, mushrooms, lentils, sweet potatoes, and whole grains. So biotin, one of the reasons it works so well, and one of our problems is when our diet is crap, right? We're not doing a lot of good things. We're not getting the vitamin B in our body. What did it say? It said your body does not store it. So you must get it from your diet. What happens if you're eating crappy and that vitamin B is no longer around? What happens to your skin? So here's a fascinating part. And I'm going to say this. So we're going to talk about it. Okay. Have you ever noticed that sometimes people that work at fast food places, sometimes there's a pretty good chance that they're going to have skin problems, psoriasis, skin issues. Have you ever noticed that? Why? Because their diet is free. They're eating fast food all the time. Is it because the fast food has got some kind of poison toxin? Probably not. They probably they don't have the B vitamins. And biotin is a key one. See what I'm saying? So if you get B7, especially biotin, and I would suggest it, like after reading this article, actually, if you have a kid with, let's say, acne problems or something, maybe biotin is something you make sure your child has, because what do kids want, right? It's a ton of fast food stuff. They're not eating salmon, mushrooms, lentils, sweet potatoes, none of that. And what did it say? Skin, hair, and nails. Why are we waiting till our hair falls out of our head to take something that's probably good for you now, right? And maybe, just maybe, acne could be one of those things, especially when in your young people, that can really help, change the skin trajectory as we go. So this is not saying that is a cure, but after reading the situation, I'm like, that could be a thing for us, right? So remember that biotin is a good one. It's skin, hair, and nails, but maybe for our kids too, because if it's good for pregnancy and it's a part of the pregnancy multivitamin that's prescribed to make sure you have it, it's probably pretty important for us overall. Okay. All right. So I think that is the last one I wanted to go. Okay. Well, let's go through some herbs for immunity because of our classic, guess what the number one day for flu is? All my patients pretty much know. The number one day for flu that's coming up nationwide, worldwide, probably is at the days after Halloween. Why? Because we take a bunch of fake sugar. Mom and dad sneak some candy as well. We start eating a bunch of fake sugar, and the kids are exhausted and they're outside running around until 11, so no sleep. And they have all the sugar in them. Okay. So that fake sugar attacks your immune system, gets active, and then you have them go hang out with a bunch of other kids, which will lead to these immune systems dropping miserably down, and then they all get the flu. So it's like this ginormous spike right after Halloween. So this is an article on natural herbs that support your immune system against the flu. Okay. So this is another one by Dr. Mercola. This is kind of just to remember these because we're going into that season. Herbal remedies like echinacea, remember that one, elderberry, and ginger reduce flu symptoms and shorten recovery time when used early. Garlic, turmeric, and astragalus build long-term immune strength, while peppermint and thyme ease congestion and coughing. So hopefully you heard those. Okay, let's read them again. So For reduced flu symptoms, you want to use echinacea, elderberry, and ginger. For long-term immune strength, we want to do garlic, turmeric, or astragalus. For congestion and coughing, immediate stuff, maybe try some peppermint and some thyme, maybe. Clinical trials show echinacea works as effectively as the common flu drugs, but with fewer side effects like nausea and vomiting, which is very true. So echinacea actually is in line with actual flu drugs. That's really awesome. Here's one that's interesting in this article. Herbal remedies like eucalyptus, elderflower, which is different than elderberry, and pelargonium help open airways and ease congestion, offering gentle support the whole family can use. So remember, eucalyptus, elderflower, and pelargonium, pelargonium. So that opens airways up. Is all the articles I want to go through. Hopefully you enjoyed them. One more. I always do a little research if there's anything new. So I'm going to look and see. I always look up one chiropractic research, but it's all really kind of the same stuff that we did. I was so excited. You've heard my thing on they did 150,000 patients from the veterans, and 40%, the reduction of opioid use was 40% among 150,000, which is great because you're talking about 50,000 people had to take less pain meds, which is an amazing study that happened this year. So we're going to see. Oh, I like this one. I don't know where this one was. So this one's a little wordy, but I'll explain it. Analysis of kinematic and kinetic changes in scoliosis following spinal manipulation or a chiropractic adjustment to your floor. They can call it all. It's always fun. Patients with what they call idiopathic scoliosis, which is we don't know where it came from, scoliosis, experienced reductions in the angle of their scoliosis and improvement in lower limb function after 6 weeks of chiropractic. Combining this with some different kinds of therapies was more effective than traditional care for reducing the deformities and enhancing mobility. And I can prove we could talk about that for a long, long time because that is true. So if you know somebody suffering with scoliosis, it's like a no-brainer. A no-brainer to do chiropractic. Make sure all those joints are working as perfectly as they can. If you in that one especially, your innate intelligence will allow this scoliosis to work as it should. Is it going to reverse the scoliosis? Not necessarily, but if it reduces those angle pressures on these poor people, scoliosis, we'll talk about it at some time. And how it kind of forms, that's a good one. We should probably do one of those. These curvatures form either at birth. There's a lot of reasons that these kind of occur. In our chiropractic head, we think we know quite a few of those different ones. The biggest thing is understanding, like when you're looking at that, it doesn't mean it's a death sentence. It doesn't mean it's I can't do activity sentence. If your body is functioning properly, regardless of the curve, you can do anything anybody else does. I really, truly believe that. People get scared and they have big situations that happen prior to, but it's amazing the result you can get with consistency. And the problem is we're taught something different than that. And so some people go through big, significant surgeries that maybe, if understood back then, could have been prevented. But I digress. But one of these days, one of my 1% tribes will go over scoliosis and what that actually means versus like what a curvature is necessarily. Okay. So with that, ladies and germs, I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's stream. I love doing it. Wish us luck. Well, Sunday night, it's probably going to be an herb. So I don't know yet. I think it's an herb. I think I always forget which weekend it is. But we did a good motivational one last weekend on creativity. So if you haven't seen that one, go to the Rumble channel, sign up for the Substack, do those things because it's worth it. So tribe1.substack.com. On Rumble, it's The Prize Inside, A Chiropractor's Journey. On podcast, it's The Prize Inside, A Chiropractor's Journey. And on YouTube, I think it's The Prize Inside, A Chiropractor's Journey. So any of those, if you put them in, you'll see this little icon in the corner. It's a little red one. Subscribe. Let's get it going. Get it going up there. I really enjoy doing this. I love doing it because of the chiropractic profession. It's opening so many people's, minds and ears and everything else. I see it in this great awakening that's happening in America, where we're starting to understand that our innate intelligence is how we're going to win this battle with health. There's nothing outside of us that's going to help us as much as what we already have. So with that said, you guys have a great night, and you just enjoy the rest of your week. It's going to be great. Have a good one.